little bit of the backstory on pickups. Um, Quite a few years ago, a good friend of mine was gigging around town with an old Sunburst Les Paul, and his friends were beginning to bug him and tell him not to play with this old guitar. So at some point, he acquired a brand new off-the-shelf Gibson Les Paul, and then he came to me and said, "Hey, you know a couple of things about pickups and so on. These ones that Gibson put in the guitar don't sound right. They don't sound like my old ones. What do you got that we can try?" So after trying a few dozen boutique aftermarket 50s style pickups, my friend went out and bought a genuine set of 50s humbucking pickups. Set him back a few dollars. In the meantime, I had found another boutique winder who I wanted to try, and that fellow was Wade at Motor City Pickups, and he was talking about how he was getting the correct vintage alloys for his product. So I figured we'd give him a try. I would give him a try. So at the end of the day, Wade came up with a pickup which he calls the Black Belt 2, which you see here, which you can buy on his website, and they're very close to what the PAFs in my friend's Sunburst Les Paul sound like. Anyway, long story short, try and shorten it up. In the process of converting a brand new guitar to a vintage style Les Paul, we discovered that pretty much everything, every part of the guitar makes a difference in achieving the sound of the proper pickup. And that's the purpose of this particular video or series of videos. We're going to try and get some of that what makes a difference information out. Okay, so this is the Les Paul we were planning on putting these amazing set of throwbacks in. One of the things that always catches my attention with Les Paul, or particularly this series, is the harness is pretty good. Let's move the cameras around a little. The harness is pretty good. With these are cosmetic bumblebees, but they are a large format cap, which does make a difference compared to the smaller format caps. The taper on the pots is pretty good, but not exactly right. So I have a little resistor padding trick I'm going to show you guys with this to make that last few digits coming up and down where all the rainbow colors are with this kind of setup really rainbowy. So I'll walk you through how we're going to do that, and then I'll just do it. So what happens with the old pots, they had some unique characteristics to the pots that really enhance the sound of the pickup. One of the things they did was, as you hit 9 and 10 on the pot, the distribution of carbon on the trace here was such that you'd still have clarity as you turn down, but the power would come up dramatically as you went 8, 9, 10. So it was a really good sounding pot, as well as that quick movements 8, 9, 10 allowed you to just barely touch the pot, and with both pickups on in the shared position, the pickups would start sort of phasing each other ever so slightly. Phasing isn't the right word, but they would battle each other for sharing of the power, so to speak. And then the resonance between the two pickups, you could just subtly adjust this, and then you would get the resonance of one pickup, subtly adjust it the other way, and take back the resonance of the other pickup, sort of like a crossfader thing. And that's a huge part of what vintage Les Paul owners are into. It really gives you all of the missing sounds that a modern guitar with humbuckers that you're trying to split coils and do things like that to get. Those sounds are just right there in the pots with this old setup. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift out these pots carefully, and then we're going to actually hide our new resistor. So what I do, find the value of the pot, which usually is 500K on these guitars, and then I find typically a 250K resistor and put it across the two hot lugs, and that makes the taper more favorable to your makes your sound a little more favorable when you use the pot. For this purpose, I actually have a bag, 3 or 4 baggies, 330K resistors. I have 220K and 180K, typically for Fender type setups. Anyway, we'll get to that right now. Okay, time to use my special technique to deal with pesky pickup leads that won't go where you want them to go. Once a pickup lead is wrinkled a little, they get caught, especially the last one in the channel, and don't go through. So I do just take a regular hookup wire that's got some firmness to it, and I go from where I want to get to, send that through, and there it is. Grab it with my forceps. Tie these guys together. You can use tape, or you can use a more secure method. So now when we pull on our wire, our yellow wire, pickup will go exactly where we want it to go. Pickup lead wire. And bingo, that was the obstruction. And we got past it. And we are almost good to go. Okay. So this is it. These are the Kossoff burst pickups made by Throbak. They sound pretty good. So we've got a Tweed Champ circuit in a Champion 600 box, running through a pair of Celestions. The Champ is on 3. real cool thing with the low end of the note. It's kind of a microphonic thing. Well, it is a microphonic thing, but it's... Whew. Tone setting in the middle, sorry, a selector switch in the middle. This pickup's still on 4. This one has got up to 7. Now the pickup on its own. It's all there. Whew.